While James Gunn added canon to his universe in 2021 with The Suicide Squad, yes, the colorful one, not the kooky bad Training Day styled one, the first project to come out since he took charge of what is now called DC Studios is here. And it's... wait, what? Creature Commandos? Who are they? Well, the first season elaborates on just who this team is and who the characters are. Creature Commandos is an action comedy driven show that deals with monsters, mania, and mayhem, featuring a roster of characters that you may not know but you will love by the end. It also features a couple of classic characters you just might already like, and a weasel you know. The first season's main goal seems to be establishing an identity for who they are for a larger season 2. Hello and welcome to Television Tuesday, the show where we talk TV on a Tuesday and tell you all about it. I'm your host, Kael, and this week we're talking about Creature Commandos. And if you've seen Television Tuesday before, you know we always start out with some spoiler-free thoughts. If you haven't seen Television Tuesday before, welcome. Like and subscribe, we'd love to have you back. And to start out, I did not expect to like this show. I didn't even expect to watch this show. Admittedly, I only watched this show because I didn't want to watch Skeleton Crew, and we needed a spot for Television Tuesday. And you know, if you've seen Skeleton Crew and can actually recommend the show, leave it in the comments below. And if you don't recommend the show, leave it in the comments below. I need to know whether I need to watch that show or not. I was confused at who the audience for this show was at first. You know, the trailers kind of went to a more kid-friendly comedy style, while one of the first episodes features Rick Flag having sex with a princess, so, you know, I was immediately like, oh, it's cool, I can watch this show, it's not for kids. And to my surprise, I loved Creature Commandos, and I can't wait for season 2, which could be a while, and I'm hoping that doesn't end up biting the show. I was skeptical that I wouldn't like the characters, but the show gives each character its own half episode that makes you fall in love with each one, and it's also a pretty engaging watch when getting half character episode and then half present day story. It makes the episodes absolutely fly by, and I loved it. I couldn't get enough. And just to end the spoiler-free section, I just gotta say, this is an awesome show. If you were on the fence like me, and you know, maybe you're not sold out to James Gunn product, you didn't watch Peacemaker, and were just really on the fence about this show, I recommend giving it a watch. And now I'm gonna go into spoilers, so if you're gonna complain about spoilers from here on out, Weasel's just gonna tear up your hand so you can't type, or I'll tell G.I. Robot you're a Nazi.
Get ready to die, Nazis! G.I.? No!
Moving on, I have a message for you, James Gunn. This is actually the second time we've addressed your ass on this channel.
Now here, this is for you, James Gunn, controller of DC things. As of right now, I don't believe Young Justice has been renewed for season 5. But I'm here to ask you, as a fan, give me one more. Give me one more season, James Gunn.
But I've got a much simpler message. Why the hell did you kill off Nina? The sweetest character in this show gets the most wrongful death. And I know I'm starting with the finale here, but man, seeing how tragic her backstory with her dad was really made you feel bad for her. Then she dies making an attempt on the princess's life, an attempt she did not want to make. I believe this show is just setting us up for constant tragedy here. And we see that as you can take your pick at who has the saddest backstory. Go ahead and drop down below in the comments who you think had the saddest backstory in this show. Between Nina's alienation, the bride losing her love, Weasel getting framed, Dr. Phosphorus being turned into a living furnace, Rick Flag Sr. grieving his son, or G.I. Robot's war stories. Wait, never mind, he loved that shit. Now the show starts with just an episode that establishes the team. I thought it was funny when Waller tells Flag they are no longer able to have a suicide squad of humans because the government made it illegal. But don't worry, we have a prison of monsters and we give no shits about their safety. New team. Now we start with learning about the bride. I think the coolest thing here is that they follow the original Bride of Frankenstein film from 1935 just a little. We see the bride reject Frankenstein and create an awesome sequence where Frankenstein chases her through time. And when we get back to modern day, this is still the case. A nice blend of action and comedy, like I said in the intro, and that is where they are trying to get you. We move on to Cheers to the Tin Man, and this honestly is probably amongst some of my favorite animated TV show episodes, and if I had a list, it would probably rank pretty high on there. And so would Chasing Squirrels, the next episode, jeez. Cheers to the Tin Man follows our boy G.I. Robot, who fought alongside the American forces in World War II, his main program and order being kill Nazis. I thought it was cool to see him in Easy Company, the squadron from World War II that inspired the hit show Band of Brothers, which follows Easy Company. I thought G.I. Robot's fixation was hilarious, especially in the War Hero interview and in the modern day where everyone found it very odd that he was just fixated on killing Nazis. A sad ending to the episode where he seems to be dead, but an awesome setup for season 2 where we know he's going to be back in action. Moving on to episode 4, Chasing Squirrels, I love that we get the backstory on Weasel killing 27 kids given to us from the Suicide Squad.
He's not harmless, he's killed 27 children, but you know.
Turns out it was 8 kids and he did not kill them. It becomes extremely sad when we see the kids befriend Weasel. They play with them, give him food, all seems to be well, until one of the little shits finds a way into their school. Things turn bad when a crackhead looking man sees them enter with Weasel. He calls the cops and tells them that Weasel was violent in a horrific manner as Weasel is trying to save one of the kids. He is shot up by the police, eventually finding himself locked away. I also enjoy the arc with his lawyer who's trying to make sense of the situation, hopelessly. Through all of this in the present day, we see the team take down Cersei and the Sons of Themyscira, who are typically Wonder Woman villains in the comics. Also, Frankenstein and Rick Flag become best friend rejects during this time. We move on to Dr. Phosphorus's episode, and this was the one story that was probably my least favorite. While I felt bad for him because his own invention leads to his downfall, I ultimately just felt way more terrible for the other characters. And, you know, maybe just liked them a little bit more. Had a little bit more likability to them. But then we get to Nina's story, and this was an absolute damn tragedy, as I mentioned earlier in the review. I wasn't ready to see Nina go after getting the backstory with her dad and then seeing her try to make an attempt on the princess. And how crazy that the bride ends up putting the princess down at the end. The whole interconnecting arc with Clayface towards the end was pretty cool, and this is just a cool little glimpse at a character that we get to see is in the universe. After this, we see the bride taken to her new base of operations for season 2, and we are left with, a couple new characters that we see towards the end, and, I'm ultimately just really excited, like I said. Hope we don't have to wait too long. Ultimately, this show made me laugh. I thought the action was awesome, and I thought the music was really cool, and it carries you well through the story. I would give this show like a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe even, I don't know, I'll stick with a 7.5. It was really good. It was really good. It just, maybe doesn't blow me away at certain points, but 7.5's a really good score. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Television Tuesday. We have many others like it. We've done Game of Thrones, Invincible, House of the Dragon. We're here doing all your favorite shows, Arcane, Attack on Titan. We have it all. We do Studio Cinema Saturday as well, where we're talking movies every single Saturday. And we're also here making our own short films. Don't be afraid to check some of those out. I hope that you'll check out some of the other videos, and I'll see you there.